Word. Come on. Gosh, this is set up so differently from the old one. I'm still getting used to it. All right, so Instagram tips and tricks, building your following to crush your biz. I'm pretty excited about this one. I think it's just a lot of kind of behind the scenes stuff, but things that are really helpful to know as far as like boosting engagement and things and just increasing your reach overall, which, you know, basically just helps you help more people, helps you grow a bigger following, helps you build relationships with more people, and allows you to reach out and invite those people and help your business in that way. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Okay, so business profile perks. Basically, it allows you to really track your engagement on different posts, the growth of your page, but it allows you to also know your audience very well, so you can really plan out when you're going to post things, as far as like times during the day when it's the best time to post, or days during the week where most of your followers are active. So it allows you to really kind of know when to post things that are more important because they'll be seen by more people, and days when maybe your engagement will be really low because your followers just aren't really active on that day. And that's the day where you can kind of throw up a post that's more about like kind of your niche, who you are, something that interests you, something more casual, and something just about kind of your overall interests or brands and things like that. And then as well, it allows you to track your hashtag usage for greater reach, which I'll get into a little bit more, but basically you can kind of really analyze which hashtags are looking best for you, and knowing kind of where you fit in, what kind of niche you fit into best within Instagram, because your photos are being best received within a certain type of hashtag. So you access that just by, when you look at your profile, you'll see those 3 lines in the top right corner, and then when you click on that, it'll show insights, and then when you click on that, it'll bring everything else up, which you will see in a second. Oh, geez. Okay. So I think this is it. Okay. So first, it allows you to track your content. So actually, I feel like I put these in backwards. Oh, well. Okay. So it allows you to track your content. So you can look at things like engagement on your posts, follows, likes, saved, comments, reach. So it literally breaks it down. You can sort it and literally look at like what posts you've made have received the most engagement, received the most likes, and things like that. And then reach is a cool one because it's about people who aren't following you. It's unique accounts that aren't connected to you. So you can see what kind of photos reach the biggest group of people that you aren't like immediately connected through your page. So that's probably something that you reach more people through a hashtag that you used, or a location, or it might just be that like the type of photo that it was is more popular. Like if you look at mine, they're all freaking transformation photos that received the most reach, which is not really a surprise there. But you can kind of really dictate and see what kind of posts you put up on your page that receive the biggest response from people, as far as like comments from people. So you can look back and see like this post received a lot of comments, like maybe you were talking about something specific that really engaged people, or you can look at it and see like maybe you asked a question at the end and that really engaged people and they wanted to respond to it, and like what kind of question you asked and things like that. So you can really kind of see what leads to the biggest response in people and what type of post they like, as far as like visually, as well as what kind of topics you discuss that lead to more engagement as far as comments and things like that go. So it just allows you to really understand your audience a little better and know what's going to give the biggest response. And if your followers are engaging with your photos a lot and liking them more, then that means you're more likely to get other people who will also find your pictures, because you'll wind up in the explore page, or you'll wind up higher up in like a hashtag and things like that. Let's see. So tracking your audience. So maybe I didn't make a slide for that last one. I don't know. Okay, so how you get to this stuff where it talks about all the different types of content that you have and what's most popular, you go here and click on content once you get into the insights, and you can look at your feed posts and you can break it down that way. But then tracking your audience, if you go into insights as well, there's an audience tab, and when you click on that, it breaks it down for you. You can literally see the top cities people live in, the top countries, how old your followers generally are, the gender distribution, which is kind of cool to know, especially like with gender. You can kind of see like if you have more female versus male followers and stuff like that, and that can kind of maybe be a reason why you're not getting as big as response to certain things. Like I tend to only really connect and reach out to females just because I'm more comfortable talking to them. So maybe you have like a weird distribution there, and that kind of affects your invites in that way. But then the thing that I focus on most is at the bottom here, where it breaks down when your followers are the most active. So you can literally see the hours that they're the most active within a day. And if you click on days, you can see the days of the week that they're the most active. So when I look at mine, pretty much every day, my followers are the most active around 3 p.m. So I plan my posts every day. I post them around like 2:30-ish, like right around there. And that way I'm posting them when my followers are the most active on Instagram. So I'm guaranteeing myself more reach in that way. I'm guaranteeing that more of my followers will be able to see my post, and that way I'll get more engagement on it. Like I don't want to be posting at 6 in the morning, which would be maybe when I like used to get up for work and stuff. I wouldn't want to post then because no one's really on their phone very much at that time. So that doesn't make sense. And like late at night, it drops a lot too. So you want to make sure that you're kind of just aware of when your specific followers are active, so you can plan your posts that way and reach the most people. And then days of the week as well, it'll break it down in the same way, where the darker colors are the most, are when your followers are most active, and when it's super light, they're not very active at all. So you can really see which days of the week your followers are most active and which like people aren't really engaging as much. So you can really plan out your posts that way and plan out your most important posts, like maybe something with a transformation of yours, or something with a call to action, or maybe you're just like talking about something that's really kind of deep and really near and dear to your heart and kind of reflective of something that you think is a really important message you want to put out there. So maybe that's something you plan for one of those days where your followers are more active, so that more people will see it and resonate with it and be connected to you through that post. Okay. And then you can also track through each photo. So if you go on your page and you click on a photo, any photo, it'll show up like this. So you can view the insights for a specific photo. And when you do that, it shows up like the second picture here, and you have to swipe up to see everything, all the info about that specific photo. And once you swipe up, it'll look like this third picture here. So it breaks down everything from you. You can see like actions taken from this post, like if people saw it on their feed and then decided to click over to your profile. That's what profile visits means. So that means like someone saw that picture and they were intrigued by it, so it led them to want to look at more of your photos. You can see how many people followed you because they found that photo. You can see how many people you reached from that photo. Impressions is like overall how many people looked at your photo, commented, liked it, and viewed it, and things like that, where reach is just unique accounts that aren't connected to you at all. Impressions includes people who are following you. So then you can see how many people found your photo through just their home, their original Instagram feed, how many people saw it through a hashtag, how many people saw it from looking at your profile, and other, which I have no idea what that would be. But what's cool about that is you can really see when kind of your account takes off, or like a photo is doing really well because of a hashtag that you connected it to. Like this photo has over 1,000 views from a hashtag, which is extremely abnormal for me. Like usually it's like maybe around 100. So that means that whatever I hashtag this photo with is something that I should continue to use as a hashtag. Because for whatever reason, the people who look through that certain hashtag connected with me in some way, or like what kind of content I post in some way, and that kind of connects me to that specific niche. So when I see that, I go into this photo and I look at the hashtags that I used, and I'll scroll through those different hashtags, and you can see if your picture ended up on like the main page for that hashtag. And that's kind of how you tell which hashtags are connecting with your photo and your brand the most, because your photo will end up like in that main feed instead of where the new posts are, if that makes sense. It's almost like its own little like explore feed for that hashtag. It's like the most popular, the most relevant post for that feed. So if you scroll down and see your post there, you know that like your post resonated with the people who follow that hashtag the most. So you can reuse it a lot in that way, because you're probably going to reach more people that way. You're gonna get more followers that way and connect with more people who have similar interests and things as you. And then creating more reach with Instagram stories. So Instagram stories are a lot of fun, and there's a lot of different things you can do with them. And they're a great resource for your business, and just a really great way for people to kind of connect more with you and your personality. But you can also create more reach and engagement on your page and in your Instagram stories through different tools that they have there. So if you look at, like you just took a fresh photo or whatever to upload to your Instagram stories, if you click on the little Post-it note looking thing, this will open up over here, and then there's a few different tools that you can use. So if you want to create more reach and get your profile, your Instagram out to more accounts, you can tag a location into your Instagram stories as well. So that way your Instagram story will show up in the stories for that hashtag. And then you can also use one hashtag for each Instagram story as well. So I don't know, I could hashtag, let's see, I'm wearing Adidas shoes, so I could even like hashtag Adidas women or something, you know, or like, I don't know, hashtag top bun. I don't know. You can do whatever you want, but you get one hashtag for Instagram stories, and then your Instagram story will wind up in that hashtag. So it just creates more reach in that way. You're making yourself more readily available for people to find. You're giving more different avenues for people to discover your account. So it's just important to take advantage of those little things and the little ways that you can create more reach for your account in that way, so you can connect with more people. And then as well, creating more engagement on Instagram stories. This is something that I just started doing, and I noticed my views on my stories went up a lot compared to normal. And that's just using all the different like polls and interactive items in the different Instagram stories. So why am I like out of breath right now? So you can do different polls where you actually ask like a question, which you can just ask like their opinion on anything, even if you're like watching a TV show or something and want to share. Like sometimes I do that when I'm watching The Bachelor, just because I know it's something polarizing, and like I know like I shouldn't like that show, but I watch it. So sometimes I'll do like a poll for stupid things like that, and just let people vote like, yes, I watch it, and like, no, that show is disgusting, and things like that, because it creates more engagement. Or you can do something that's more business related, like, do you struggle with like your nutrition too, or something like that, and you can reach out to people that way. There's also the questions feature where you can ask a specific question, like you can ask for people's input and advice, like You can ask if you're wanting a new book to read, or you want advice for a new show to watch on Netflix or something like that. You can put that there and just ask people's opinion, and they can insert an answer there, as well as this little, I don't even know what to call that, like a little toggle bar thing, so people can kind of show their opinion that way if they love something or something like that. So you can put that on. I've put this on Instagram stories of my dog being ridiculous, and like a new sweater I got. So you can use that on so many different things. But what's important about these is that each time someone interacts with these different kind of poll options, it helps bump your stories in like people's feeds. So the more engagement you get through people not just viewing your story, but actually like interacting with it, bumps it up farther in people's news feed. So it winds up showing closer to the beginning when people open up their Instagram feed. So then your stories winds up being one of the first ones showing up for people when they open Instagram. So that way they're more likely to click on it and look at your stories, and it just increases engagement in that way. It's just like how Instagram kind of favors posts that have more likes and have more engagement in that way, and they push those into people's feeds. They do the same thing for Instagram stories, so people are more likely to see your Instagram stories when you use those poll options, which is something I didn't even realize until recently, and I tried it out, and I have like a few more hundred people that have been looking at my stories just from doing that over the course of the last like week or so. So highly recommend doing that, and that way you have more people kind of looking at what you're doing, keeping track of what you're doing, connecting with you as a person, and really getting a feel for who you are. And you can build so many relationships off of Instagram stories, because you're really just, it really just lets people see who you are authentically and hear you speak and be like a goofball weirdo. And that's how people really connect with you even more. So when you get more views on that, you have like so much trust built and so many more relationships built. So highly recommend taking advantage of those options. As well as going live also helps, which I know can be kind of intimidating and scary at times. But when you go live, it boosts your story as well to one of the first few in people's feeds. So that way your story will show up first when people open Instagram. So that way that helps people see your stories as well, and you'll get more views. But I know obviously that's like more time consuming, and you don't always have things that are maybe like live worthy, but just another tip as well. And you can literally do anything. Like you would go live videoing like your meal prep, or you making like a meal that you like, or how you make your shake in the morning, or, you know, going live of your workout, or I don't know, it could be anything. I've done lives of like what I bought shopping at a grocery store, and like clothing hauls and things like that. So it just helps your stories get more views in that way as well. And then boosting engagement on your posts. So these are things I've been putting into action lately, and because my engagement dropped for a little bit, and this has really been helping to increase that and get it back to where it was before. So a few different tips. Ending captions with questions, because then you're actually engaging your followers and they feel a need to actually drop a comment below and respond to you in some way. And that increase of engagement helps to push your post into more people's feeds, so that way you get even more engagement on your photo. And it could be anything. People really love giving their opinions on things. So even if you're just like, should I wear this or that? Or do you prefer summer over winter? I asked that once when it was getting really cold. You know, like little things like that, where people really like to give their input on things or give recommendations for things. People love giving their opinion because it's something they know and know well, so they're comfortable with sharing that with others. So that's always a good place to start as far as questions go, to help with that engagement, as well as responding to every comment that you receive. Even if it's like an emoji, I'll like it because that creates more engagement. I like every single comment that I get on my photo. and then I'll respond no matter what it is, unless it's someone being creepy, then I'll ignore it. But so even if it's an emoji, I'll respond and I'll send like a heart back or something like that. And that way it creates more engagement in that way and pushes your photos to more people's feed. And then commenting back on people's posts who like or comment on yours. So that, I think, is just really important in maintaining that relationship and the friendship that you've built. But it also helps to ensure that like your posts keep showing up and being favored in that person's newsfeed, because Instagram kind of recognizes that you have a relationship built with this person and that you have like this back and forth going, and that like you care about that person's post and they care about yours. So they'll consistently boost your post to that person's feed. And then sending thank you messages to new followers. So I think it's really easy for your feed to kind of get lost sometimes. Even if someone follows you, if they haven't actually like engaged with you via liking your posts or commenting on things or messaging with you, then Instagram isn't going to show your post to them because you don't have a relationship going. Like they followed you, but in like Instagram's eyes, you need kind of that like reciprocal relationship a lot of the time for them to be boosting your post. So there needs to be some level of like interaction there on one side or the other for your post to be showing up on their feed. So just sending thank you messages to new followers helps to really start that relationship, ensure that they're actually seeing your posts, but also you're connecting with new people and building trust and relationships and connecting with people in that way as well. So, and it's super easy. Like you can just be like, hey, whatever their name is, like, thank you so much for the love and support on my page. I really appreciate it. Like, where are you from? Or something like that. And something easy that just kind of opens the door to connect with that person and start a new friendship. And I will say, I send those out frequently and not everyone responds, and that is perfectly okay because even you like sending that message out to them is going to help your pictures show up in their feed, and your stuff is still kind of on their radar, even if there's someone who kind of wants to be like just a quiet watcher of whatever you're doing, you know, or like a wallflower of some sort. Or, you know, things work out well and you connect with them and stuff like that and build a friendship. But it still helps you build that engagement either way, because you're helping to boost your engagement and to push your posts onto other people's feeds in that way. And then the last thing is gaining followers. So this, I think, gets overcomplicated sometimes, or people just like feel like there should be some like secret thing that like they don't know that someone's not sharing as to like how you build a following or something. But it's really just about building relationships with people. People want the likes and the comments and the love on their page just as much as you do. So really just building that reciprocal relationship with people, showing people that like love and caring and in giving the effort to connect with people in that way is what helps you to build that following. So number one is hashtags. So that helps you to, well, okay, so I'm going to say two things. You build a following through the love and connecting with people and through your reach. So you need to make sure that you're reaching enough accounts and setting yourself up in success in that way to ensure that you can reach people who maybe haven't found your account yet, and you're allowing new people to find your account through using different hashtags, tagging location and things like that. And you're also showing love to people and reaching out to people and engaging in that way to build those connections. So with hashtags, each photo that you have on Instagram, you can use 30 different hashtags. So I would think of things that relate to you as a person, that relate to things that you enjoy and that you share a lot on your page. I try to avoid things that are specific to fitness a lot of the time, just because they are flooded with other Beachbody coaches or people who a lot of people who already kind of like have their shit figured out, for lack of a better word. So you wind up kind of getting pushed into this little bubble of Beachbody coaches when you go after those hashtags and interact with those hashtags, and that is not where you want to be. So I avoid things like tagging, well, anything Beachbody related, like the program I'm doing, or Beachbody coach, Beachbody, Shakeology, what other things? Fitness journey I never tag, because that's like a huge hashtag. It has like over 1 million tags, and a lot of the first thing that Beachbody coaches who are new, who maybe don't have the luck of like guidance and trainings like we do, the first thing they think of when they think of something that connects with them is fitness journey. So that's where they go to look to like and find people to help, and you wind up stuck in that Beachbody bubble. So you don't want to use those like really super flooded, overused like health and fitness hashtags. You want to do something more specific to your own journey or who you are as a person, what you enjoy. What do I hashtag? I use things like outdoor women a lot, or like hike Massachusetts or hike New Hampshire or things like that, because I love being outside and I love hiking. And that's kind of shown a lot in my feed. I tag things that have to do with the fact that I had an eating disorder, since that's part of my health and fitness journey, and that's a little bit more specific. I tag things, sometimes I'll tag Boston just because that's like where I'm from. So things that are a little bit more specific to your specific journey, and or like I used to tag self-love club, since that was something more specific to myself, to my fitness journey as well. So just really taking the time to kind of think of what's specific to you, your story, your journey, what people can see a lot on your page and your interests that way. And that way you can really kind of find your niche of people with similar interests that are really going to connect with you and what you have to say. Okay. And then you want to make sure that you're using all 30 for each photo, just because that makes sure that you're reaching more new accounts, more new people, and that way you have more potential people that will find your account, connect with it, and therefore more potential people that you can help on their health and fitness journey. So when you're using the hashtags, you want to kind of keep them smaller for the most part, like maybe 50,000 posts in that hashtag and below, because that makes sure that people who are looking through that are actually going to be able to see and find your post. Where if you use all huge ones that are like 1 million posts, then your post is going to get very quickly buried, and not that many people are going to be able to find it and interact with it. Okay. And then engagement. So really, when I started out, my following was completely built off of searching through those hashtags that I enjoyed. And I searched through anything. I had purple hair at the time, so I would search through like purple hair, don't care, and things related to like hair dye, like things completely not health and fitness related. And I would just like photos from that hashtag, and I would comment on them and comment on how I liked people's hair and blah, 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 and just connecting people in that way. I'd ask them what kind of hair dye they used and things like that. And just follow, like, and comment on people's photos. And that's really how I built my whole following, was doing that in the beginning. And as your account kind of grows, you start to trickle in more followers that kind of just discover your photos and things like that, because you have that increased engagement. But in the beginning, you need to do a lot of that background work of like actually going out and trying to find your people and really connecting with people and following people. And that's how you get those follows in return, is because you actually made the effort to connect with them and comment on their things. And then to go along with that, I use the app called Cleaner, and I use that to unfollow anyone who doesn't follow me back, because I'm not trying to connect with people who aren't interested in connecting with me. So you can go in and you can literally just like select people who aren't following you, and you can unfollow them. And you can only really do like a certain amount a day, but it allows you to kind of keep track of that and clean out your account in that way to make sure that you're actually just connecting with the people who also are interested in connecting with you too. And then consistency is the biggest thing. So when I was building my account, I was working full time and, you know, doing everything else that this business requires and putting in the effort there. So I wouldn't say that like building my followers was like the biggest priority on my list, but I did it daily, put in at least like 10, 15 minutes daily into making sure I was going through those hashtags and connecting with people and following people in that way. And really in the beginning, when you're growing your account, that should be considered part of like your business hours or your daily to-do list, because you're not going to be able to help many people if you don't have a very big pool of people to kind of reach out to and help. So it just ensures that you have like access to more people to connect with, more potential people to help on their health and fitness journey in that way. So in the beginning, when you're really building your account, it's important to set aside that time each day to go through those hashtags and connect with people authentically and compliment them and be kind and make them feel good, and, you know, connect with things that like are actually authentic to you and that you care about and, you know, are true to who you are. And that's really how you build a following and friends. And it's really not, there's no secret to it besides just connecting with others, really, but making sure that you're making that daily effort to do so. And that is really all I have for you guys. I wanted to leave a little bit of time in case there was questions or anything. Let's see, stop share. Okay, do you find that it's better to do business for your feed and non-business related posts for stories, or is it half-assed better? I do both. So on my feed, I would say my feed is mostly related to things that are like fitness related or business related, but I do throw in some things that are just like what I'm doing that day and like things I'm interested in. But I would say the majority is related to the business in some way or my fitness in some way. Stories is a little bit more of a free-for-all. I have days where it's not really about anything, but basically every day, at least consistently, I have a couple of my workout moves up there. But some days I'm not really, you know, talking about like, you can join me, you can do this, blah, 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 you know, but people see you showing up consistently. So that way, when you do throw in like a poll or an invite into your stories, they're more apt to actually like interact with it because they see that consistency there and they see you getting results over time and can follow that. Do you continue to send thank you messages to people that interact with your page that you've sent ones to before? I do. Like if someone doesn't respond to my first one and they keep interacting with my page, I'll send them another one, or I'll just send them like some nice compliment and stuff if they're always interacting with me. But it's not like the same, like I wouldn't send the same exact message. That would be a little weird. I would like send something slightly different or just like send a nice compliment. But after a while, like if you're sending someone a message and they haven't responded after like 5 messages, it's like, just move on. Does anyone know an app like Cleaner does? Oh, I have no idea. I'm not sure. I wonder if you can Google that though, like an unfollow app. Huh. Was it also Cleaner that you were using, Jess? Oh, so I just tried to download that, see if it works. I don't know, but it's a lifesaver. And you can also, I forgot to mention this, but it allows you to select certain groups of people. So if your engagement is really low as well, as like your account grows, you can select people who are inactive users as well. So like since I've had my account for like 1.5 years now, I have people that I follow or that follow me that don't really maybe use their Instagram anymore, aren't really active on it. So you can select people who haven't used their account in like whatever, I don't really know how many months it like kind of selects by or whatever, but you can select inactive people and block and unblock them so they won't be following you anymore. And that way your posts aren't being pushed to their feed where it's not even going to be seen because they're not interacting with the app anymore. Just a little tip, but there's a bunch of things you can do on there. So I would just kind of look around and see what you can find. Are there any other questions? Alrighty, well, I'm gonna stop recording then.